So welcome to A Glimpse of Lisa's Kitchen. I'm going to show you how to prepare just a basic cheesecake recipe today. Not going to be able to bake it as we don't have an hour and some odd minutes. So I did bring a prepared one for you all to try. Baking a cheesecake is extremely simple, really, and it's time consuming, but all you need to do is just get your ingredients together, prepare a little bit, mix them, throw them in a pan, and throw them in the oven. You start off by having a cup of graham cracker crumbs, adding some butter, and a tablespoon of sugar. You mix it just so that it forms some light, it's crumbly. Mix it up. My butter hardened a little bit, so it's kind of difficult. But you get it pretty much so that the crumbs are, for the most part, coated. When you get to that point, stick it in the pan, spread it out. Doesn't have to be real pretty as it's going to be covered up, so you don't have to worry about holes and whatnot. When that's all done, you will stick it in the oven for 10 minutes to set the crust. And then that'll be ready to go. While that is in the oven, you can get your other ingredients. You've got your cream cheese and pre-measured sugar. You put that in. When you're mixing it, you want to make sure that you get all the lumps out. Again, I'm not able to completely do that. But the lumps, you don't want to be eating your cheesecake and get them all full of cream cheese. That would just be kind of gross. So you mix that up. When that's for the most part creamy, dump in your lemon juice. And 2 tablespoons of teaspoons, vanilla.
And then the form keeps on going. He's like, oh my God, that wolfman telling you about it.
Just enough. Mix that up some more. Again, making sure it's creamy. When you start off doing this, you make sure that everything is at room temperature. It's really hard to cream cream cheese if it's still hard from the fridge. After that is mixed, you throw in some lightly beaten eggs. You don't want to beat the eggs too much. It causes a lot of air. And while you're baking that, that's what gets your cheesecake to get real real puffy, and that's what causes it to crack. And then you know you're all going to be so concerned with how pretty it looks. But once that's all mixed, you don't want to overmix it either after the eggs are in. So you make sure the lumps are out before you add the eggs, so that you don't have to mix it a lot more to get the lumps out after the eggs are in, which again will cause a lot of air. It'll cause the cheesecake to puff up in the oven. Once you have that all mixed, you'll pour it in the pan over the crust. Take that out after 10 minutes, pour it in the crust. And then I have this prepared. It's got a aluminum foil around it. What you do with cheesecake is you get a bigger baking dish, and then you have the aluminum foil around this. It prevents, it'll make it so that the cheesecake heats evenly. And then you set that in a baking dish with water, and when that cooks, it provides more moisture, so your cheesecake, again, does not crack. The baking gears. So you pour that in there, stick it in the baking dish, add a little butter, about an inch of water, put it in the oven. And then comes the waiting period when you need to wait an hour after it's out of the oven for it to cool, and then you put it in the refrigerator overnight. So you get to make this scrumptious cheesecake that you don't get to eat until the next day. However, it is well worth it. When you get to take it out of the oven, you wait. After it's all completely chilled, you get to eat it for dessert the next night. You top it with anything, and it's really kind of nice with cheesecake. This is a basic recipe, but you can add anything to it. You can add fruit or chocolate or whatever you want to it, and it's really good. And then after you get everything done, you did your preparations and your combining of ingredients and baking, you get the joy of rewarding yourself for your hard work and effort by eating a scrumptious